The Calgary Flames and Dallas Stars face off in a first-round series that sees the Flames heavily favored, but Dallas is a sneaky team that likes to stick around, and they might be able to give the Flames a little bit of a run for their money. This should be an interesting one, and we're going to take a look and preview it right now. Hey everybody, it is time for another series preview, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Calgary Flames versus Dallas Stars matchup. You've got the top seed from the Pacific Division against the top wild card team, Dallas, who just edged out Nashville for that top spot. Flames obviously had a very, very strong season. I've been super impressed with Calgary this year, especially the turnaround for them from where they were at last season, not even really that close to being a playoff team, to now being a division winner. Very, very impressed with the Flames, and Daryl Sutter has done a great job with that team. And Dallas, they weren't a playoff team either last year, and they were able to get back into the show this year after making a finals run in 2020, but coming up just a little bit short against Tampa Bay. This could be a really interesting series because Calgary's heavily favored. A lot of statistics and all that point towards Calgary. But Dallas is one of those sneaky teams that just kind of hangs around and makes it really tough on their opponents. And I think that's going to keep Dallas in this series maybe a little bit more than people expect. But let's get into it here, taking a look at both of these teams. The Calgary Flames went 50, 21, and 11 this year, 111 points, and they won the Pacific Division. They also did fairly well against Dallas in the regular season this year, going 2-0-1 against the Stars in the 3 games that they played. Obviously, the only loss came in an overtime game, and they did not lose in regulation against Dallas. So Calgary played them well in the regular season. The Flames are a phenomenal all-around team. 3.55 goals for per game, which is 6th best in the NHL. Very good offensive season for the Calgary Flames. Obviously, led by their top guys. Johnny Gaudreau had his first 100-point season this year. Matthew Tkachuk had a 40-goal season. Elias Lindholm had a very strong season. But they also got some good depth production as well, and that's something that's kind of been lacking at times for the Flames over the last few years. This year they got the depth production, they got a more balanced offensive attack from throughout their lineup and not just relying on the top guys. They also got a lot of point production from their defensemen, which again has really helped this team become one of the higher scoring teams in the NHL. Not only are they one of the higher scoring teams in the league, they're also one of the best defensive teams in the league as far as just keeping the puck out of their net. They're actually better defensively than offensively. They had the 3rd best goals against per game this season in the NHL at 2.51. And a phenomenal season in goal from Jacob Markstrom. And the overall defensive play and team defense from Calgary was very, very good. They're also good on special teams. 22.9% on the power play, which was 10th best in the NHL, so they get a top 10 power play. And they also have a top 10 penalty kill to go along with their great defense. All around, they are really good shorthanded as well. They killed off 83.2% of penalties this year. So just really, really strong special teams from this team. And again, such an all-around great team. You know, there's really no glaring hole in the Calgary Flames game. They can score. They keep the puck out of their net. Their goaltending is good. They have a balanced attack. They have a great head coach in Daryl Sutter, who's one of my favorites. He's a multi-time Stanley Cup champion for a reason. He won 2 with the LA Kings, and he is back with Calgary, where he went to the finals in 2004, but came up a little bit short against Tampa Bay. Back then, he's back with the Flames now, and he's trying to avenge that loss and take care of some unfinished business and get a Stanley Cup back to Calgary. So this is going to be a very interesting series. The Flames have all all the right pieces in place and all the right tools to get the job done here in this opening round series and really in these playoffs in general. They're just so well-rounded and a really, really efficient team, a very good team that does a lot of the little things well and plays winning hockey. However, the Dallas Stars are certainly not going to be an easy opponent. Dallas went 46-30-6 this year. They finished with 98 points and in the first wild card spot in the Western Conference. They went 1-2-0 against Calgary in the regular season, but this is a team that, like I said earlier, they're just one of those like sneaky, gritty teams that doesn't go away. Like they don't make it easy on their opponents and they don't go away. And I think they're certainly going to give the Flames a series in this one and certainly at least be able to keep it close. My biggest issue with Dallas is that I don't think they can score enough goals. And we saw that in the regular season, 2.84 goals for per game, which was 21st in the NHL. So they're in the bottom third of the league as far as goal scoring goes. And I think that is going to be something that is going to kind of be a hindrance of them winning in the playoffs. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Dallas in 2020 didn't have a great offense in the regular season, but was able to turn it on in the playoff bubble and score a lot more. And obviously they were able to get to the finals that year. So we could see something similar with the Stars this year, but that offense or lack thereof definitely concerns me heading into this series against a Flames team that is scoring over 3.5 goals a game. Defensively, Dallas is middle of the road, 2.98 goals against per game, which was 14th in the NHL, so very mid-pack as far as goals against go. And Dallas is actually the only playoff team that goals for are less than their goals against. So this is a team that didn't have a great goal differential in the regular season. But we'll have to see if that trend continues in the playoffs or if they're able to buck that trend a little bit and start putting some pucks in the net and then start limiting some of their opponents' chances as well. But again, nothing really sticks out here for Dallas offensively or defensively. They're not really great at either, but if they can get some goaltending from Jake Ottinger, I think, again, this can be a closer series than some people are expecting. Special teams-wise, Dallas is pretty good on the power play. Actually, for a team that didn't score a lot of goals this year, they're pretty darn good on the power play. And the power play was an important part of them winning games and them scoring at all this season. 22.4% on the PP, and a big reason why this team was able to win some of the games that they did. So if you're the Calgary Flames, even though they do have a good penalty kill, you really don't want to be taking a lot of penalties and giving Dallas chances because they are a team that will make you pay if you give them chances on the man advantage, particularly Jason Robertson, who is just a wizard around the front of the net and scores a lot of power play goals that way. So penalty kill, not great for Dallas, 79.0% on the PK, which is 19th in the NHL. So again, statistically, everything favors the Calgary Flames here. They're the better team. They're certainly better on paper. Their statistics are better. But let me tell you one thing about the NHL playoffs. Games and series are certainly not played on paper or with statistics. And that's one of the greatest things about playoff hockey is that as much as you try and learn from the statistics and figure a team out and figure out what they're good at, what they struggle with, where there's holes if there are any, it all kind of gets thrown out the window when you get out there on the ice. And it's all about who can perform the biggest moments play their best at the most important time. And that's what a playoff series is all about. Goaltending also super, super important. I think Jake Ottinger is good enough to keep this series close for Dallas. Obviously, I have very high expectations for Jacob Markstrom in net for the Flames with the awesome season that he had this year. I'm expecting this to be a a fun, close series, but at the end of the day, I do lean the Flames in this one. They certainly should win this series, but again, like I've been saying, Dallas is one of those teams that kind of just sticks around and gives you a run for your money. So we'll have to see how it works out, but I have been extremely impressed with the Calgary Flames this season, and I think that is going to carry over into the playoffs. So Calgary and Dallas are your 1 versus wild card matchup out in the Western Conference for the winner of the Pacific Division versus the top wild card team. And again, this is a series that, it feels like it should be pretty handily won by the Flames, but something about the Stars I don't know. I feel like you just can't quite count them out. I am concerned about their lack of scoring, however, because the Flames score a lot of goals, and they'll put some on the board against you. There's no question about that. And if Dallas starts getting into games where they're going to need 4 or 5 to win the game, I don't think the Stars are going to be able to do that. So, the key here for Dallas is to try and keep these games as low scoring as possible and give yourself a chance. If you get up into 4s, 5s, 6s for, one team, then Dallas is not going to do well with that style of hockey, most likely. So we'll see what the Stars can do here against a very tough opponent. There's obviously a lot of pressure on Calgary to win, especially given their recent playoff history where they haven't been a great team in the postseason, and they're certainly expected to win this series. So the pressure is on the Calgary side, which might allow Dallas to just kind of go out there and try and steal some games, see what happens. And I do think Dallas keeps this a little bit closer than some people might be expecting, but I do think the Flames have the advantage going in for sure. So that is my preview of the Calgary-Dallas first-round matchup. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our merchandise store, membership, and donations are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys soon.